seeing this? Do you know when the last time this happened was? You are not going to believe how big this is when you find out. And the last time this happened on this chart, the Moon Boys were nearly sent into complete extinction. But what happened next? You will literally be leaking from your shorts after you watch this video. Welcome back, and boy, do we have a video for you so big today that it will absolutely change your life, and potentially you will never be the same after you see what we're about to show you on these charts. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, turn on those ghost notifications so you always get these absolutely time-sensitive breaking news updates the minute that they come out. And check out all of the bonuses below if you want to secure your crypto, get altcoins, trade, or any other nice bonuses. I have one Twitter and one Instagram, and they're in the description below. And without any further ado, let's get dumped on. I am literally leaking right now looking at this Bitcoin chart, as there are so many massive, even gigantic things that we're going to be mentioning. And the very first thing that we're going to be talking about is something we've been covering for a long time. However, today, again, continues what is potentially a very big roadblock for the DXY as it comes into its first resistance that we've seen pretty much at all in the past 2 months, going all the way back to the beginning of March, where it traded sideways in some sort of descending channel type pattern before breaking to the upside here. Here, in fact, we see something a little bit different. And are we actually now, as we face these previous highs that we set back in 2016, are we actually now going to run into a very big roadblock for the DXY, which would be extremely bullish for Bitcoin? Keep in mind, the DXY bottomed back in May of 2021. And what happened to Bitcoin back in May of 2021? Back in May of 2021, Bitcoin basically topped out. It hit like 62,000 US dollars and then crashed down. Ultimately, it did go on to set another new all-time high by a couple very small, eensy-weensy, teensy little percentage points, but ultimately that was the top. I mean, for all intents and purposes, you could argue, yes, it clearly was a new all-time high, but this area right in the mid-60s to the high 60,000s, specifically 69,000, nice. That was the high for Bitcoin. So really, ever since the DXY bottomed here, Bitcoin has not done too much. So the DXY bottomed about exactly a year ago and has gone on a 365-day rampage to the upside. And in the meantime, what has Bitcoin done? Well, if we go back to the exact date right about here, it crashed, had a little bounce, but then ultimately, yes, it's been crashing since. And in fact, it's actually impressive how well Bitcoin has been doing, considering not only the DXY gaining strength, but all of these macroeconomic factors, even the latest collapse of UST, right? There are a lot of things that have happened that, I personally think it is actually surprising. Bitcoin is still holding so decently, especially above even this 200-day moving average. But really the key takeaway is here, yes, the DXY potentially, this is so exciting. We've been talking about this for weeks, that over the next few weeks, it'll be very interesting to see if we actually get a big rejection for the DXY. And on that, the SPX is not really looking that good as the stock market and Bitcoin continue to dump here, but Bitcoin's trying to find legs around 30,000. And on this chart, the reason this is so big is that this is the EMA ribbon here on the weekly chart. The last time that we saw so we see in an uptrend, yellow is on top, the shorter moving averages, and the longer ones are on bottom, this red moving average here. It starts at the 20 and then the 55 is right here. And basically when the 55 crosses above the 20, which is the red crosses above the yellow, that has marked, or at least the last time it absolutely marked the bottom for the market. And that was very good. So potentially, we're literally about to see that with the red really like touching the yellow here. And in fact, the yellow is absolutely dipped way below the red, and these colors are getting absolutely squished and squeezed together. And again, if we look at this chart on the weekly, when was the last time we saw that? The last time we really saw that happen was here, back at the crash in March of 2020, where we got, that was the lowest that it went. But then as well, the absolute lowest that it went back in the bear market, the crash at the end of 2018. So the bottoms. Basically, this only happens at bottoms. So that's very ginormous. We didn't even see that back here in the summer crash, but we are seeing that now. So that is one big, gigantic revelation that potentially Bitcoin, again, among a million other things, potentially this is the bottom for Bitcoin, potentially setting one of the most ginormous double bottoms in history before a massive pump episode to the upside. And actually, I want to continue with Bitcoin, but a few things I want to highlight first here is that just as well, Bitcoin bears are aiming to keep Bitcoin under 29,000 ahead of tomorrow's over half 1 billion Bitcoin options expiry here. This could result in Bitcoin revisiting lows here as it's trying to hold 30K, and this options expiry is tomorrow. And so that's just very important here. There's a lot of other things going on in the macroeconomic climate, obviously, besides crypto things like UST collapse. All of these things, though, very bearish. S&P on the edge of a bear market territory, a 20% contraction from its all-time high. And as well, we've seen a decent amount of stocks get absolutely pummeled here. Target, Walmart, these are huge stocks that have seen double-digit losses. And as well, Bitcoin billionaire, MicroStrategy chief Michael Saylor saying Bitcoin is going to the millions. That is a very big number here. That's if it would go into the millions, that's extremely big. Wow. Now that's pretty big. And with Bitcoin, trying to hold this 30K level, there is a decent amount of resistance at what was previous support at about the $35,000 level, the mid 30,000s. And so that's obviously what we're going to be looking at as well. And as well, Robert Kiyosaki saying that the best times to get rich are when Bitcoin dumps. And that is absolutely the case. And as well, jumping back into this, what we saw with Bitcoin over the past few weeks and months, this $35,000 level right here was previous, resistance and support back at the initial run-up in late 2020, early 2021. Massive summer resistance after we broke through it in 2021. And now, is this going to be rekindled resistance with now the 21-day moving average right at about 34,000, and at about 38,000 is the 50-day moving average, the 200 all the way up around 45,000. So, this previous support that we spent pretty much the entirety of 2022 testing right here as support, obviously did break as of the last week and a half. And this level now, 34, 35, 36,000 is going to be a pretty big level for Bitcoin to get above. But again, with that being said, are we going to be seeing a giga bounce in the short term to liquidate some shorts, as many people are short right now? And obviously the market has gotten straight dumped on for so long. And at some point there has to be a recovery. And again, with nearly we're going on potentially 8 red weekly candles for Bitcoin, will there be a bounce? We do see this mega wick, the giga wick that we see at these bottoms, just like we saw in the last summer, just like we saw in the crash back in March of 2020, and just like we saw back in November of 2018 as well. Absolutely, I think it's very likely that these are giga bottoms, 100%, potentially, maybe possible. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, turn on those ghost notifications to never miss these absolutely time-sensitive alerts. As well, if you guys are interested in any bonuses deals, make sure to check out all of the nice bonuses below. Over $4,000 deposit and altcoin bonuses here on Femix and Bybit. If you're interested in even just getting altcoins, remember they have spot trading as well, so you don't have to do anything incredibly risky. But as with everything in crypto, trading is risky. But yeah, there's a lot of altcoins as well. If you're interested in getting hardware wallets to secure your crypto, and as well to follow my only Instagram, there's also a competition here. Yes, this competition of if Bitcoin goes below 20,000, I'll be giving away, I believe it was $1,000 worth of Bitcoin per day, every day that's below 20K. So if you're interested in that, that is there as well. Without any further ado, that's it for me.